Hello.
Good morning, Anna.
Good morning, Carmen. How are you today?
Good. How enthusiastic do you feel about going out on days like yesterday, for example?
What was it yesterday? Well, I usually don't feel enthusiastic about going out in general.
It
It
doesn't depend on the weather.
doesn't depend on the weather. I prefer
Hmm.
to just stay home all the time. I mean, I
And
do have
yesterday it
to.
was so dark and rainy and windy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, we live in the middle of the nature. My mother said,
Mhm.
How about going to the nature when Mark is on the holiday?" And I'm like,
Imagine.
"We are in the nature."
Yeah, oh my God, you are so privileged about that.
Yeah, I mean, we got used to the beautiful sunrises and sunsets
Yeah,
and stuff like
I
that.
amazing.
We
Yeah.
don't photograph anymore because
Hmm.
it's become such a normal thing.
Anna, this is one thing. When my students move abroad to Canada or Europe, I tell them, please, if you desire, just take pictures on the first year of every season, because after the second winter or whatever, you just take it for granted. But it's so beautiful. The changes are so wonderful. But I myself, I took many pictures on my first year abroad with a real camera and with the film development, whatever. But of course, after that, it just become normal. It's, something interesting about how we get used, and we don't notice the privileges anymore. Yes.
It's not that I don't notice. I notice them. I do enjoy
Mhm.
them still.
But
But it's
don't
but I don't
register.
feel like
Yeah.
sharing them
Yeah. Yeah.
with anybody. It's like when
Hmm.
I arrived, I had in my mind all those people left in Russia that I wanted to share with.
Hmm.
But
It makes sense.
now I don't feel like sharing it, but I do enjoy it.
Hmm.
When I see, I really enjoy. And with my son, we actually sometimes we say, "Oh, look," you know.
Uh-huh.
It's not like we do, but the first year definitely we did it more. Yeah,
Hmm.
we
Yeah. This is.
noticed it definitely more. That what you
Mhm.
said.
And I
Hmm.
can believe yesterday the weather was on and off with showers, cold showers, but then after 4, also wind, a lot of strong wind. What do we call gusts? Gust of wind?
I think so, Gust.
Gust of wind. I thought, oh my God, the kiosks in the square, because of the party here from the church, they're gonna fly away.
Wow.
Anyway, we really waited to have some snacks from Festa Junina. So even if it was horrible weather, said, no, let's go because the weather is so bad, we might find a parking space. So we went to the festival here just to grab a little bite of this and that. But then okay, because was what I really wanted to do, and I have been paying attention again to do things that I really want to do no matter what, because many times I feel a little bit lazy. Oh, it's too rainy, I'm not going. Oh, today my friend cannot go, so maybe next time. No, Anna, now I am doing whatever I wanted to do. I am a rebel now, Anna, in this moment of my life.
I am just the opposite in the sense of like
Mhm.
finally I am allowing myself not to do.
Wonderful. Yeah, yeah,
And I the other day I understood that my life is just the perfect the way I want,
yeah.
because I do things, I work, and at the same time I do like some stuff around the house, but then I have so much time with myself that I've always
Mhm.
wanted to have,
Yeah,
and I've
yeah,
always wanted to have a lot of privacy, and that
yeah.
I never had the possibility to
See,
have.
and I think this
So
is very important. This is a lesson I have learned from a psychologist with whom I attended therapy years ago. She was a wonderful lady from Avaré, really. And she told me this thing that I keep in my mind like forever. Carmen, what is something that you really want to do? And you have 5 errands to run. Okay, we have so many obligations every day, but really, really, what do you want to do first? Yes, what is important, not what is urgent, you know. And I have been paying attention because last Friday, for example, I had many errands to run. I had classes, this and that. But I thought, no, what is important for me is going to the gym for my health. Not that I love it, nothing like that, but really, why should the house be perfect? Why should the fruit bowl be fulfilled if I haven't exercised yet? So, first of all, I went to the gym. And after that, I just did what was possible. Not everything, of course, because I had classes in the evening. So I thought, doesn't matter. And I felt so good about that the first commitment comes to me. You know why? Should my first commitment go in the direction of a whatever obligation?
Long
I
ago,
enjoy being selfish nowadays.
long ago, when I was in Finland, it
Mm-hmm.
was what, I don't know, 1990 something. And
Mm-hmm.
I read there this
Mm-hmm.
Seven Secrets of Success. It's a very famous
Mm-hmm.
book, yeah. But
Mm-hmm.
and there he divides by the into four types of activity.
Great. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so each
What is
one,
the takeaway for you, Anna? Do you remember?
yeah, each one is divided according to the fact whether it's urgent and whether it's important. So each
Mm-hmm.
thing can be urgent and important, urgent, not important,
Yeah,
not
makes
urgent,
sense.
important, and not urgent, not important.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that thing was very, very good, because after that, I've been prioritizing my things more or less. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and for me, yeah, there are things that are urgent and important. So I do them first naturally.
Yeah,
And that's, I mean, that makes a lot of sense, this whole thing with urgent and important.
yeah.
But
And
sometimes
then,
there are things, like classes.
yeah, absolutely. Classes, and that's what I have been thinking also. For example, if I have classes or a meeting or whatever, I will be there on time and I get prepared. Okay. So, why the hell I sometimes don't invest the same commitment, for example, for my resting hour? Because weeks ago, for example, I had two students who canceled on the same day on a very busy day. So it gave me just a little bit breath opportunity. But then, and imagine, in 1 hour that would be my students, I went to the gym quickly. Okay, it was a good move. And on the other hour, I baked a big dish of vegetables. Okay, it was a good move for everybody in my family, it's something healthy. But then at night, I was extremely tired and I had in my hands 2 hours to rest on that day. But I decided to fulfill with obligations. Then I think, this is a mental disease probably, and I have to pay attention because I must be more loyal and more committed to my resting opportunities, because it doesn't happen always. So I have been thinking about that. And then about being important or urgent. If you come from a family like mine who have strong traits of anxiety, everything is urgent in their point of view. So that's the point. Oh, this is urgent according to whom? Not
Mhm,
according to
mhm.
me, because. So I think
I
we,
am definitely privileged in a way that I can clean when I want.
yeah,
It's like,
sure.
if I don't want, if I was sick
Yeah.
now and my back
Hmm.
was hurting and I felt that
Yeah.
I needed to relax more, so then I relax more.
Yeah.
And then when I have when I have the capacity and also the mood, like this morning, I cleaned up everything, I cooked,
See,
and I did some
wonderful.
things. It's kind of very rare, this kind of
Yeah.
thing that
But
you are.
imagine it, when you choose to prioritize your well being, you are taking care of your oral brain. When you say, I'm painful, but I will clean if necessary, I take a pill, but then you are hurting yourself more, rígida, out of control.
Mm.
you know.
Well, yeah, for me,
So,
rigid very rarely.
see, but it's interesting, Anna, because it's also a strong trait on you, right?
Yeah,
Because you
I think
have much
rigid.
energy to do a lot. But then, of course, also you have done so much in your life. Yes, so much obligation, so much traveling, so much, doing hard things that really, Anna, most people don't do what you have already done being so young. Of course, it's your birthright to feel tired and say, I want to stay, I want to be private, it makes
I don't
total
even
sense.
speak with myself about it. I just do it. It's
See?
like, and but it's also, I think that is like a privilege in a
Yeah.
way, because
And
most
not
people have so many
choosing.
connections.
Absolutely. And being able to choose is a privilege because imagine if you had two babies, you would have to cook, you would have to bathe them, you would have to bring them to the daycare, and if you
Well,
say,
I
oh,
mean, I did that. I did that when he was small, and
yeah,
but the interesting thing is that because I had my son when I was older, and because I
hmm
really wanted him very much, I've never
hmm
had this feeling of having to do things for him.
you
It's
did
always
with pleasure all the
yes,
time.
yes. It's been always with pleasure because
Lucky
it
him.
yes because it's just because I had him when I was 40. I need to turn on.
Wonderful. You were more mature.
I was I was not just ready. I was anxious. I really wanted to have.
Wonderful.
I would see kids and cry. Families
Oh,
with children. I would like not be able to not cry. So it
hmm
was just really I wanted him so much. And so when he was born, the first 3 years, I there was nothing in this world except him for me. And
wow. And
so
imagining now in Brazil, I think it's a first that ladies' generations are open and honest and frank to say we love being mothers, but we feel extremely tired. We are not killing ourselves to do it perfectly. We are doing our best according to our capabilities. I think it's a wonderful break on the slavery chain that my mother, my grandmother had because they overdid their dignity to make so much, do so much, you know?
um, um, I also think it was also like I like very much when I have the possibility to concentrate on things. So when
Mm-hmm.
I stayed home until he was 2 years old,
I wonderful.
2.2.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like I really could enjoy so much,
Yeah.
and I had no partner to distract me from him, and there
Mm-hmm.
was nothing else that
Mm-hmm.
I needed
Mm-hmm.
to go and get distracted. So we
Mm-hmm.
went to the swimming pool when he was 7 months.
Ah,
I will send you
amazing.
the. I don't know if I've shown you, but one of my favorite videos when he's swimming at seven
Oh,
months.
yeah.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about, how do you think the ladies feel who have to do all that as far as they can, and plus work in a company and where they start 6:30 in the morning, work up until 5, and clean and cook and go shopping? How do you believe they feel when they have a baby 7 months, 1 year old, but they have to work? How do you
Yeah,
think
I
they
mean,
feel?
of course, it's. I can't imagine really because it's hard for me to imagine other people's lives.
Mhm.
But I suppose there are like grandmothers and things like that around here, and even if they
If
can take
everybody's
them to
from
daycare.
Botucatu, maybe, but my students are not. For example, they just work here. They have no support
Hmm.
from anybody else, just the
Well, they
daycare.
take to the daycare. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. Carmi, like I believe that everybody's life is different. So uh, maybe this is the way that is better for them. I don't know. It's
yeah,
hard for me to judge,
yeah.
because
The possible way, yes, and I feel they don't have a choice. It's the possible way for them. But
mhm.
sure, the daycare is safe. They enjoy working because all my students have challenging jobs, but they do like what they do.
Mm.
Plus, they needed the money. So,
My cousin, for example, she
mm-hmm.
took her son to daycare. I think started to she they live in France, and I think she started to take him at around 6 months,
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
and even if she wasn't working, she took him
Okay.
to be able to study because
Okay. Yeah.
she's a
Mm-hmm.
pharmacist now. But
Oh.
it's like she prefers to spend time in other things other than her son, basically. Now she
Mm-hmm.
works in
Okay.
Paris, and they live in Strasbourg, her husband
Mm-hmm.
and son. So I don't know. It's like
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel that much compassion for every single person that has difficulties, because many times people have the life they chose.
Yeah.
If
In
they
a certain way, you do your way, of
Yes,
course.
it's like I have my difficulties that they don't have. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
they earn the money, they get the money, and they never think about the money because they work. Yeah. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
Mm-hmm.
they maybe think about it, but because they want luxury. I don't have any luxury. I
Mm-hmm.
live my life the way I like it, but I
Mm-hmm.
also struggle. It's like every single person struggles. So
Yeah.
why should I feel pity or much compassion for someone who chose to live the way they live? Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
We
Mm-hmm.
make our choices every single moment
And
in our
everything is
life.
difficult, so you choose your hard. Yes, everything is
Yeah.
hard. Choose your hard.
It's,
Yes.
yeah, because it's like each person makes their choices. I
Mm-hmm.
could choose not to have a child, and then I would have my life on my own. And then I
Mm-hmm.
probably would have less difficulties in some ways, but then I wouldn't enjoy my life the way I do. So it's
Yes.
like
Yes.
every single person has this thing, and
Mm-hmm.
they want to work. Okay, they could choose not to work and not to have money,
Mm-hmm.
but stay
Yeah.
with their kids. They could,
Sure.
but they
Yeah, they
don't.
could. Yeah.
So I don't know. For me, it's very much about like
I think
what
it's
it is that we
extremely
want.
challenging, but of course it makes sense for them. And in Brazil, yes, you have this choice of the daycare, even public daycare, even if you work or not. I have a friend who's a child go to the daycare. She doesn't work in the moment, but the kids end up loving the daycare. They get to use it. My nephews go to the daycare since they were super young because their mother works out of the house, and they love the daycare, and the daycare offers so many nice days for them, so much sunlight and the games and the rides and the little parties and the nap time, and it's amazing. uh, and I think at home we wouldn't have the patience to say, oh, let's splash water all over the floor, then mother will clean up after.
I did have that patience. I had no problem with that at all. Really, I loved my son, having my son so much. I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't mind that sort of thing at all. I mean, in
Mm-hmm.
general, for me, the cleanliness of a house is very secondary for
Mm-hmm.
forever and ever. Like my dogs, I don't scold them for things because they live their life and they enjoy what
Yeah.
they enjoy. I
I
used
think
to.
here I can't imagine my nephews doing that in their living room. I can't even imagine this possibility playing the games I see them playing at the daycare. And then I think, oh, you know what? I think kids are happy in the daycare. That's just their lives, the modern life for kids in Brazil now.
It's just that I think that the society is coming more and more to the understanding that, I mean, we have to enjoy with the kids. To have
Yeah,
the connection with the kids, you cannot not enjoy with them, and you expect
yeah.
them to like do things that you want from them or whatever. I really have
Mhm,
hardly anything I want from my son. Just the some basic things during the day, but in general
mhm,
I am just happy that if he's happy. But what I wanted to say, I used to put him in the bathtub because in
mhm,
Russia we have big bathtubs, and on
mhm.
the wall I would put a big white paper, and then I
Mhm.
put some paints over there, and then he, with his fingers, he was painting there.
Mhm. Mhm.
Sometimes I did the same on the floor. Like I would
Mhm.
put the big paper
Yeah.
and put lots of paints all over, and then he would just paint, and he would be all in paint, and I would be all in the
Mhm.
paint. But for me, really, I have no problem with any of that, and I
Mhm.
don't have any problem with like kids painting on the walls. If, for example,
Mhm.
especially if it's my house, I would
Yeah.
probably give him the possibility to just paint the walls with the way he
Mhm.
wants, because
Mhm.
for me, this kind of like creativity and happiness is much more important. Like it doesn't
Mhm.
stand anywhere near the cleanliness of the house.
Mhm.
I don't know, but somewhere,
And
yes, I can
imagine
imagine.
him. Mhm.
I can imagine that in Brazil it's difficult because people are. That's what I like about being a foreigner anywhere in the world,
Mhm.
is that you can not follow the rules of the society because you're a foreigner, you're a green guy. You can
Yeah,
do
yeah,
whatever you want.
of course.
So this is really the best. When I was
And if
immigrating,
you imagine, maybe you have this big soul of a kindergarten teacher inside of you. And I saw my nephews playing at school and with thread hanging mirrors, different shapes and sizes of little mirrors hanging, and the little babies going there just like Indians looking themselves at the mirror, and the very little kids like 2 years old, something like that. And then I think, oh, mothers in the apartment, rented apartment, they would never do that because you cannot destroy the walls or whatever. So that's why I think kids are happy at the daycare. But, and of course, um, I think in Brazil, people are much more worried about the orderly house, something clean style, not cleanliness exactly, but more organized. But if you compare, for example, to Egyptian homes, oh my God, you think, oh, that's different. So,
well,
of course.
it's, yeah. Well, I mean, the cleanliness is a good thing, but it's more. I'm talking more about prioritizing. So
Mm-hmm.
if things make happen, like in America, they have this thing of cakes into the faces. I mean, I would
Oh,
never do that. I would never do that because I feel that food is not for that.
oh my God.
I don't. I'm getting a little bit pain in my back, so I'm trying to
Oh.
find a way to adjust my
Mhm,
position.
mhm.
So for me, food is not something to
And
play
you
with.
mean cake in the face like a birthday song, weddings, or what, or
They have
competitions?
like battles, cake into the
Ah,
thing.
I, my
This
God.
something
I
I
don't
would never
have
do.
the good humor necessary for that.
Yeah,
Imagine.
I would never. I don't think that food is to be played with, and I think that
Mhm,
it started in America because there is so much of this like overly everything. They have too much
mhm,
of everything, so to find happiness, they have to do like strange things.
mhm.
That's what I believe.
Yeah.
But in general, for me, happiness is very important, and being in a good mood and stuff.
Mhm,
Most
mhm.
of the time when I am alone, I'm always in a good mood, always.
Mhm.
It's like
Okay, wonderful.
I never, if nobody spoils my mood and nothing
Yeah,
happens,
wonderful.
I am usually in a very good mood.
Look, Liana, me too. If I am by myself, I enjoy my company. I can be by myself for so long, even if I really like meeting people, but I can totally be by myself for many days. I really don't care. But of course, and I work with people every day. So
Hmm.
maybe that's why I enjoy also being by myself.
Me
Maybe
too.
this is one
Yeah.
point because I
Yeah.
have this strong bond with my students, and
Hmm.
we discuss everything. So maybe, of course, I have used all the tokens necessary of connection at work. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
on the other hand, and I also don't feel intoxicated because I know people who work with the public or with the people they don't really like. So they are intoxicated at the end of the day. They cannot see anybody else. Yeah. But my students are really nice people. So,
Anyway, people who our students, they're still our students, so we have certain limits, you know. Uh, it's different from people who are like at the supermarket even, because at the supermarket is like kind of it's more limitless, you
mm-hmm.
know. It's like we work with people who are intelligent. Yeah, they study,
Yes, absolutely.
not
And
with
this is
just
another point.
anybody.
Yeah,
Not just
exactly, Anna.
anybody, because
Yeah.
sometimes people are really strange. There are some really
Hmm.
strange people in this world,
Yeah.
and I'm very lucky and very happy that I don't have to meet them, because there
Yes.
are people who are strange.
And then imagine the people who work with the public in general, then they take all kinds of people, polite, impolite, cooperative, jerks. So I understand the level of energy that gets drained working with the general public, you know, my God. Or lots of people like in a hospital, the amount of people coming and going, or big schools with the classes with the 40 people in every room, I understand it's totally another level of energy draining, even if you like it or not. Yes, it's just a lot. Yes.
Definitely, definitely. I was
Mm-hmm.
working in a public school in Russia,
Mm-hmm.
and I had 8 hours, one after the other, with
Imagine.
classes, or most of the classes were full, like 30 kids.
Yeah,
And
it's a lot.
I
How did
was
you
dead.
feel after working hours, Anna?
Well, I mean, I
Drained?
had to sleep. When I came home,
See?
I had to sleep for an
Yeah.
hour
See?
before being able to do anything. Because, yeah. And then
Yes.
also we had like summer camps. And summer
Mm-hmm.
camp means that you start, you have a group of kids, like
Mm-hmm.
20 something,
Mm-hmm.
and there are two of you, the teachers, and
Wow.
then you are with them until 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
They eat. You take them to eat. You have some
Mm-hmm.
activities and stuff like that. And I used to really feel 1 or 2 o'clock. I don't remember. Up to 3 o'clock maybe. I don't remember for
Mm-hmm.
sure. But and there you
It's
really
a lot of
spend.
irresponsibility. As
Uh,
when I was there, a lake around or just a field and
we used to go to the swimming pool together.
a
We used to
pool.
go to the swimming pool together, like
Mhm,
I don't once a day, but not every day. Maybe
mhm,
2 3 times a week we went.
mhm,
Yeah, and anyway, yeah, lots of different things. And but for me, there was never a problem with kids. I always,
mhm,
if I ever had problems, it was like with administration or with other teachers, because
mhm,
I believe kids are much easier to find like contact and connection with than
mhm.
adults sometimes, especially
Yeah,
administration. And in Russia, there is a lot of deep in like deep inside uh, this totalitarian mentality.
yeah, I
So
understand. Yeah.
if the person is a director or of anything,
Mhm,
they're like kings. They want to uh, they behave differently. Like now I
mhm.
have my boss, and we are so in such good like such a good relationship we have.
Wonderful. Yeah.
But
It's
there, it's like they behave like kings or queens a lot.
wow.
And for
Wow.
me, this is so difficult, because most teachers,
Mhm.
they're used to it. They have only
Okay.
been in Russia. They don't know anything else, so they
They
accept.
wouldn't discuss that. They
They
just
just
take it.
like,
It is
you
what it
know,
is.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
it just flows
I
and
understand.
goes away. But for me, it was always very difficult, because I know that there is other way. There is
It
another
didn't feel
way.
comfortable to you,
And
yeah.
mm, for me, if she's a director, it doesn't mean anything.
Mhm.
Anything. She's a
Mhm.
director. So what?
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
it's like inside of me, I cannot accept anybody's superiority over me.
Mhm.
So it was difficult sometimes
Mhm. Yes,
because
absolutely.
I couldn't accept it. But a lot
Mhm.
of people they just accept and they just live with it.
Mhm. And can you believe I have also taught kids for a few years in my life when I started working in one of the schools where I worked long years. So just because I was a beginner, it was like mandatory. You would start with A1, AB, 2-1, yeah. But in a very short time, they noticed that I could be useful with the grown-ups, but I have been through kids, teenagers, late teenagers, and adults, and then by choice I kept the adults. But I did really well with the kids. I loved them anyway. My classes were messy. I never minded the noise and nothing like that. And I also had so much fun. But of course, you feel much more tired. And the responsibility is three times more with the little kids because if one goes to the toilet, you think, oh my God, 2 minutes too long, let me check. So with adults, it's completely different,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
And then nowadays, really, I chose adults like forever because they never stop having classes in December and January and July. Because with the kids, it's a problem. They travel, they have a long vacation, then the parents don't want to pay. So then financially doesn't make sense for me nowadays.
Mhm.
Um, but of course, I feel less tired with adults, yes. If I feel tired, it's because I work long hours, rarely about someone.
We can stop right now because we are practically at half an hour.
Wonderful.